Chris Martinez, CEO and founder of Dude Agency, all the way from Tijuana. Welcome to the Sales Podcast, man. How the heck are you?
I'm great, man.
You like that, huh? I said it like a native. It's not Tijuana. It's Tijuana.
It's Tijuana.
Tea.
You're close. You're close.
Ain't no tea sipping around here, baby.
Tea.
So what the heck, man? Why? What did you have? Like some hypnosis powers? I don't even like you. Why the heck am I allowing you on my show, man? What'd you slip into my drink?
One word. Yeah, beer.
Roofie. Chris Martinez roofied me at Traffic and Conversion, and now he's on my show. All right, well, let's make hay while the sun shines, shall we? So
let's do it.
So what the heck, man? Dude Agency. What? I mean, dude, really?
Dude.
Is that the best name you could come up with?
People love this name, actually. So do you want to start with how I came up with the name?
Let's start right there.
Okay, cool. So 2012, I started an agency. We're web development agency. We're building websites for businesses. And I grew that. My team, when I started, was in the Philippines. And then 2 years into it, I'm like, hey, I need daytime support. You know, it's hurting our customer service. So I go all around the world. And I eventually settle on coming here to Tijuana, Mexico. Basically come across, I was living in San Diego, come across the border, didn't know how to hire people or find, developers and designers. We figured it out, and it's just an absolute game changer for my agency. Everybody speaks English. They understand American culture. Obviously, same time zone. It was 15-minute drive from my house to my office in TJ. And that was amazing for my agency. I grew it. We had over 200 clients. Everybody was on retainer. I was managing the entire team thing with just 5 people. So it was really, really good. And then in 2017, I decided I wanted to try something new. And so I'm sitting at my friend's beach house in Rosarito Beach, Mexico, which is about 20 minutes, I would say 30 minutes south of the border, right on the beach. And I'm listening to a podcast interview of Russ Perry, who I think you had on your show at one point in time. And he's talking about how he started Design Pickle. And I'm like, I could totally do that, but with web development. And so come up with the idea, I'm just like brainstorming in my mind. And then I'm like, well, what do I call this thing? And I would say 10 years earlier, I had read this book by, I can't even remember the name of the guy, but the book was called Selling the Invisible. And it was like a branding book. And he talks about how Americans love companies with the ooh sound, like Google and Yahoo. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what can I call this thing? And then all of a sudden, like, dude just pops into my head. Because everybody's like, I got a dude, like I got a web developer, I got a guy, I got a dude. So it comes into my brain and I'm like, okay, well, what could dude stand for? And most people don't know this now, but it actually stands for, or it stood for, digital updates done by experts. And all it just kind of hit me. It was one of those moments, like I'm not a meditating kind of foo-foo kind of guy, but all of a sudden it just kind of came to me, right? And then that's what we ran with. And we started running ads on Facebook to digital agency owners talking about our outsourcing solution for web design and development, unlimited outsourcing of web design and development. And we started getting clients through Facebook ads. And that's how we got started, man. And so people love the name Dude now, so I don't even have to say digital updates done by experts, but that's where it came from.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I just pulled this up and I'll link to it. Selling the Invisible, a field guide to modern marketing. Mm-hmm. Dude, I didn't know you could read. You got the Audible version, didn't you?
Yeah, I got actually I had somebody read it to me, and then there was they did pictures, so it was like Pictionary reading.
Stick figures?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Chris. Nice. Well, now you got the whole T-shirt, the hat, you got the whole wrestling thing, huh? So where did that come from?
Another interesting story. So when we started out, we started running ads on Facebook, like I said, and I wanted to run retargeting ads because obviously everything was cold traffic because nobody knew who we were. So I knew that we needed to run retargeting ads. And back then I was reading some article by Digital Marketer talking about the importance of stopping the scroll. Like you have to have something in your video ad to make people actually pause and then watch the rest of the video. So I had this wrestling mask that I got in Ensenada like 2008 or something like that. So I'm like, okay, well, let's grab that. Because, I had all these masks and these crazy things. I had a Batman mask.
And you have matching pajamas too, don't you? Admit it. Admit it.
Of course.
All right.
So so I had this wrestling mask. I put this wrestling mask on. I recorded some video ads wearing the mask. And then I just threw them up. And I started getting like 14% click-through on my retargeting ads for the mask. I was like, okay, we're onto something. And then as we started to promote the fact that we're in Mexico, which I was a little hesitant about at first, because let's be honest, there aren't a whole lot of positive things that come out about Mexico and especially Tijuana. So when I started to embrace the fact that we were in Mexico and all the positive attributes about being in the same time zone and that we're like this hidden gem of web development, I was like, screw it. I'm going to go full force on Mexico. And so then I took the mask and I incorporated that into an actual wrestling costume that I started wearing at events. So we'd go to a convention or something, and then I record videos and I'm wearing the mask, and it always starts a conversation. And they ask, well, why are you wearing that? And it ties into the fact that we're in Mexico. So also when we go to conventions, we're bringing Mexican candy and shot glasses that look like little like Mexican cactuses. And so we totally play up the Mexico theme.
Right. So a couple questions on the mask and the costume, because you're right. We got to slow the roll, right, or slow the scroll.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it still working as well? Because over time you get ad fatigue and people are accustomed to it. Have you seen that happen, or is it still working well?
So we actually paused our ads for almost a year, and some of the feedback that I got that was ultimately a positive is that the mask would drive away people who weren't going to be our good customers anyways. Like part of the whole mask is like
it would drive away those that would not be.
Yes, yeah, because we're a little weird and we're fun and
you're
goofy and whatever.
Yeah, it's a litmus test or what
exactly.
Rorschach block or whatever they call that thing, right? And
yes, more or less. So
yeah, go away. We don't like you.
It would repel a lot of people, and they'd be like, man, that's so stupid. You don't got to do that. I was like, that's fine. You do you. We're going to keep doing our thing. And the people that liked it, they were like all about it. And for most digital agency owners, which is who we work with, it's a lifestyle business. They're not looking to build a multi-billion-dollar brand, and they're not wanting to work 100 hours a week, for 6 years. They're looking for a business that obviously provides them a good income, but they want to do other things as well. They want to be able to enjoy this work from the beach type of lifestyle, which very few people actually attain. But that's kind of like the idea behind it. And so, our brand with the wrestler and all the fun stuff that we do, it connects with those types of people. So fast forward, we're actually doing a little bit more branding now, and I haven't worn the mask in our videos as much, but when we do events, it's definitely a showstopper. It's like, everybody comes and asks what's going on. And when we're at an event, that's the point, is you got to get people to stop by the booth. You got to get them to come by and talk to you and start those conversations.
Right.
So in that respects, it absolutely works.
And then do you still see that experience though, that it turns some people off? Because I know some people would probably say, well, I want to be respected and blah, blah, blah. And because you're the one that wears the outfit, right? You don't give it to someone else. It's you.
No, it's me. It's me. I have absolutely no problem doing it. Of course, I'm a little bit uncomfortable and nervous, but then you get into it and it's fine.
And is it basically just, choose who to lose, right? You're like, okay, if you don't like this, then I probably don't like you. So I don't want to work with people I don't like. So go pound sand.
Exactly. I'd rather have 100 amazing clients. Okay. So, I had the agency, we had, over a couple hundred clients. And, we had some good clients and we had a handful of bad ones. And I got to see that, and I always dreamed, once we get to 200 clients, it's going to be great and blah, 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 blah. It's not like that. I'd rather have 50 amazing clients who just, bend over backwards, are grateful for the service that we provide, pay us the amount of money that we want, And you know, our staff loves them, and they keep coming back, and they refer good people. I'd rather have that than 500 clients who, you know, are a pain in the ass any day, any day.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to make connections on a one-to-one basis, really, with good clients. Like, I don't need a lot of mediocre / crappy clients. I want amazing people that connect with us.
Yeah.
So whoever doesn't, more power to them, man. Go do your thing.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about it. You know, I started the CRM Butler, and I didn't have a booth, and I pondered like getting the whole Butler outfit and walking around, but I wimped out. But
I think it's got to fit in with your personality too. So like, if your brand is, you know, if you're a suit and tie kind of guy, and that's who you've always been, and then you try and do something wacky just for the sake of being wacky, and it doesn't really fit you, then it's not going to feel authentic.
Sure.
You know, when I put on the wrestling costume and we have a wrestling ring, like a 6x6 wrestling ring that we had custom built. We bring that to the conventions. When I'm standing on the top rope, you know, being like a crazy person, that's kind of like how I am, you know, like I am a little over the top. I know that I'm not for everybody, but it's fun for me, you know? So like, that is genuine. Like, that is who I am. Even last week, we had our monthly kickoff meeting with all of our staff, and we did a trivia game, and I wore like a wig and like a funny jacket and everything. I couldn't find my mustache, so I couldn't wear the mustache. But, you know, like we do fun stuff, we do weird stuff. And so, you know, that fits our personality, our core values.
Right.
So, you know, I always tell everybody, don't try and be me, or don't try and be somebody that you're not. Embrace who you are so that it feels real. And that's what people really are connected to. Yeah.
Cool. So you started down one path. Mm-hmm. Are you still doing the unlimited web design?
For small businesses, like the agency?
Yeah. So, I mean, the one you originally started, and then that kind of morphed. So are they two separate entities?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Two separate companies. So, you know, Website in 5 Days, we still have that company. I don't spend any time in that business, and I haven't for the past 2 years. I have a support person who basically runs that entire thing. And then actually we have a new like manager who's managing that business. But, you know, when I started Dude, that agency it wasn't fun for me anymore. So that's kind of like part of where Dude came out of, is I was looking for something else to do that I would enjoy. And so with Dude, like, you know, it's a completely different brand. Our clients are different. So with Dude, we only work with digital agencies. And here's kind of why it's such a good fit. Most digital agency owners, after they get past like their first year or two, they get really, really good at selling. They've picked a niche. They know who their ideal client is. They know their pain points. They can take on way more clients, but they have a big problem with scaling because they don't have the right team, and they're lacking a lot of the operational processes that can help you grow.
Right.
And that's where we come in, is we provide them the people as well as the processes to help them take on more projects so that they can grow and scale and create that, you know, dream agency.
Right.
And that's why, you know, what we do is such a good fit. And I understand all their pain points because I have an agency too. So, and I know the challenges that you have with the Philippines and the power going out every other day, and India and the communication challenges, and you know, Eastern Europe, the customer service isn't very good in a lot of cases. And even with the States, you know, like in the States, we have great people. They can be very expensive, but worth it, you know, based on what you're selling. They can be absolutely worth it. But some of the problems that's been happening is like ego issues. You know, you kind of have this entitlement mentality with designers and developers where they feel like you need them more than they need you.
Right.
And that sucks, man. We're all trying to run a business. We're trying to help serve our clients. You don't need that in your agency.
Yeah, when I'm interviewing them, I basically ask, have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern? If they say yes, then I say take a hike.
Why is that, man? What's wrong with those people?
Because they've pounded into their heads, raise your prices. Whatever you charge, add a zero to it. You know? And it's like, okay, look, in theory, I agree, but you're not that good, dude. No, I'm not paying you $1,000 an hour to make a landing page. You're not worth that, but they got too much of that in their brain. But
everybody's a special little snowflake, and sometimes reality kicks in and they don't like what they hear. So.
Until they're starving and they're working at McDonald's. But I digress.
Okay. Yeah, let's get back on track.
But no, it's all part of it, But so you handed off the original company. So walk me through that, because as entrepreneurs, I think if you don't have at least 12 irons in the fire, you're probably not an entrepreneur, right? We're always curious about other things, stumble across another thing. How did you hand that off? And then how much of your time does it take? Is it like a 1 hour review with the manager? Is it 1 hour, a month? How did that transition go?
Oh, okay. So first of all, the key is, and this is probably obvious to you, but creating systems and processes for doing everything.
Hey, Chris, can you get a little closer?
Yes, sir.
A little bit hollow.
Okay.
So
the key is creating systems and processes for everything. I mean, literally like checklists. This is the least sexy part of running any business. Let's just be upfront about that. Like, selling is fun. It's sexy. It's like you're making money. I say that operations is where you really lose or make all of your money. And so, doing those operational tasks of who does this and what are the steps for this, and this, like all of that stuff. We built that over years. And so
how much of that did you build versus assign somebody? Hey, go document our process for onboarding a client. Go document our process for launching a Facebook campaign.
Our website build out process. We actually hired somebody to do that. At the time, I paid him $5,000. I thought it was way overpriced, but in retrospect, it was worth every single penny plus 5 times more, because it's just saves so much time. And the ticketing support system, I mapped out that process alongside of our designers and developers. The onboarding process for clients, I 100% scripted that entire thing, built out all the web forms myself. So the majority of those processes were built out by me. And I feel like at that time, that was one of my responsibilities as the CEO and owner, was helping to iron out those processes. One of the things that I brought to the table was that I am not a technology person. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a developer. I'm not a designer. I'm an entrepreneur. And so I was able to see things from the client's perspective and create, little tweaks to processes that, we had learned from other agencies to make it more feasible for the client. Because sometimes you want the client to be able to do this in an ideal scenario, but they're just not capable and they didn't hire you for that. So we had to make some changes to our processes to make it easier for the client. And in the end, it was great, because we get our projects done faster. The clients are happier.
Hey, you know what? I think that's why I was so successful selling Infusionsoft, especially early on. And still to this day, I just don't focus on it as much. But all of my, competitors, the other certified partners, were all techie.
Yeah.
I learned it. I was not technical. Like they literally, I had to build a Weebly web page.
Nice.
On the side, and I was basically buying dinner for everyone to just show me this stuff so I could have a web page to copy and paste an HTML web form from Infusionsoft so I could pass the certification test, right? So this stuff didn't come naturally to me, and so I saw the pain points of the mere mortals that were trying to buy it, and like they didn't want to learn about APIs and whatever. They're like, I just need more sales.
Yep, absolutely. And that is knowing your customer as well. Like I knew who my customer was. I knew how to speak their language. But dude, I 100% know my client. Like I know all the struggles that digital agency owners face. And I can pretty much like look at somebody, ask them how long they've been in business, and I can know what challenges they're going through at any given point. So knowing your client is unbelievably important. And then so instead of stopping at the sales point, I took that further and like, okay, operations, like how is the client, how should the client impact our operations and how we get stuff done? And we just go one by one. I mean, like I said, this stuff took years to create. And so in 2017, when I decided to create Dude, I had my support person, I had my onboarding person, I had obviously the web designers and developers and project managers. And so I was able to create this new brand, Dude, and basically I just didn't really have to do, the transition was super, super easy. We had our ticketing support. And then what was even a bigger bonus is that because we had all these systems and processes for Website in 5 Days, we were able to take those and put them into Dude. And so creating that was really, really easy. There were still, a million little challenges that came up every day, but it was way easier than trying to start from scratch. And then one of the biggest things that I learned that I didn't anticipate was that agencies, like successful agencies, had really, really bad systems and processes. And so they would look at what we were doing and they'd be like, hey, how did you guys do that? How did you do that? Oh, can I do that? And I was like, absolutely. Like, here's our template for websites. Here's our template for onboarding new clients. Here's our template for this. And so they started taking all the things that we created to help them be more efficient, which in turn helped us be more efficient. And then everybody's happy. So, over the, past 7 years, everything that we learned from Website in 5 Days ended up having a longer term impact on Dude, which has been fantastic.
Yeah. So now, like, how much time do you spend on it?
On Website in 5 Days? Zero time. Zero, like literally zero time. I have not, like, since 2017, when I basically, you don't
review. I mean, you got to review the books or something. I mean,
I look at the revenue and then I look at the expenses, and I don't really have to do anything else. Like,
okay. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, you still got to be careful, right? Because honestly, that's when you get ripped off.
In terms of what?
That Harvey McKay talked about, the pigs inside of your company will do more damage faster than the sharks outside. If somebody gets complacent or, I get this measly little salary and he's not doing anything. He hasn't touched this company in 3 years. I'm the one really making this thing grow, and you get ripped off.
So, it is good that we have all of our staff here. And then we're actually, we're transitioning Website in 5 Days out. Not necessarily a sale, but
everybody's in the same building, same office.
Oh yeah, man. I can show you. I mean, you're on the video right here. You can see. That's
so that helps as well. That even though you're not in the business per se, you're looking in the eyes the people running it every single day.
Yeah, in terms of like operational tracking, I mean, like through our support system, we track every minute of everything that people are doing. We track all the requests that come in, and then my support person handles all the phone calls that come in and like all that stuff. So
cool.
That's part of the operational support that we have established, so that I don't have to really do anything.
So let's jump back. You said you actually stopped running ads. Is that because like word of mouth was helping you grow, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we started running ads really to just prove the concept of Dude. And so we started targeting digital agency owners. It was actually hard to target them at Facebook at the time. And started getting clients. And I was like, okay, this could work. And then the big thing that put us over I went to Digital Marketer had a one-time event called Digital Agency Growth Summit back in December of 2017. And so I went to that, and it was like 200 agency owners, and I started talking to people about what it is that we were doing at Dude. Everybody's like, that sounds really cool. I'm really interested. And then we decided in January, we were going to get a booth at Traffic and Conversion. And so, it was like 10 grand when all was said and done for the booth and the trade show displays and all that good stuff. And I was living in San Diego, so I just had my staff basically stay at my apartment. So I didn't have to pay for a hotel or anything like that. And so we went to that event, and then that's just when it like took off. We had 5 people when we started in February when we arrived at Traffic and Conversion, and we ended last year with 29 people. So it was pretty impressive. And all of that was fueled, of course, by sales from TNC and referrals. Not everything from TNC, but we got a lot of clients at TNC. And then, we would upsell people. And so that's kind of like the springboard that helped us to really, really accelerate our growth in just a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And and then of course there's like a million other things that we had to improve as we grew.
Right.
But
And so now what exactly are y'all providing? Is it just turnkey marketing?
We provide, so we basically have two products. The first one is what we call our pod system. And that's where a digital agency, because we only work with digital agencies, comes to us and we assign them a team of 6 to 8 people. And we cover web design and development, front-end web design and development, graphic design, some email marketing support, like setup, that sort of thing. We don't do any Facebook ads. We don't do any Google ads. We will eventually do that. But right now, it's front-end web design and development, graphic design, and sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dog's rubbing herself against the wall right now. Sorry.
Mine will do it right out here.
Yeah.
Rubs. She turns sideways and rubs her back, and her collar scrapes along the wall.
Yeah, that's her right now. She's like, Dad, go take me outside. Stop talking.
That's a lab, huh?
Golden Retriever. Yeah.
Golden Retriever. Yeah, I got a lab.
So 6 to 8 people. Everybody works US hours. You have one point of contact, and then the same team working on your stuff. So we learn the digital agency owners' styles and tastes and their processes, and we say, we basically become an extension of your team. Now, you do share that team with anywhere between 15 to 20 other agencies, but you have these open lines of communication. Our turnaround times are still very, very fast, and so you get a team of 6 to 8 for a flat rate. It's $19.97 a month. So that's our one product. And the other one that we have, we call our dedicated employee program. And that's basically, you come to us, you say, Chris, I need somebody full-time, that only works on my stuff because we have a lot of work. We need really, really fast turnaround times. I want them to be able to communicate with my clients if possible. And so we have that program, and that's where we find you a designer, a developer, video editor if you need a video editor. And we're rolling out project managers in May or June. And then eventually we'll get into Facebook ads and Google ad management as well. So that dedicated employee program, what happens is most people come to us and they get a pod. They're like, oh, this is great. I'm taking on, all these clients. And then they're like, hey, Chris, I got so much more work that I can take on. What are my other options? And that's when we talk about the dedicated employee program. And usually most of the agencies will have one dedicated developer and and their pod. And that's enough to cover all their work. I mean, we had one agency out of Texas. I think they're in Texas. And they signed up 30 new websites in 2 months or something like that. And they had their pod and a developer. Basically hooked them up with everything. They were able to handle all the work.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. So where do you see this going in the next couple of years?
So in terms of staff, we'll be at about 90 people by the end of this year. We're really, really ramping up our dedicated employee program just because so many people love this program. I mean, you get somebody who's as good, if not better, than somebody working in the States that works US hours. They have visas so they can come to your events if you have an event in the States too. And they cost 60% less than somebody that you would hire in the States, and you don't have to worry about the attitudes. So that program, we're pushing that really, really hard this year. We're also developing more software. So our big mission is basically to handle all of the operations for digital agencies. That's why we're rolling out the project management program in May/June. We have our conference that we do called Dude Fest. That's twice a year. That's all about operations. And then so we're developing a new software for ticketing. That's our next thing. We did already create a platform for onboarding. That's called dudeonboarding.com.
Nice.
So we rolled that out last December. And so I mean, it's really just filling in all the gaps on the operations side so that we can make all the agency owners' lives that much easier.
Yeah. So what's the Dude Fest you called it?
Yeah, Dude Fest.
So where do you do that?
We do that down here in Tijuana, Mexico. So nice. So we did, our first one was in December. We had 16 people come down. It's only for our clients. And so they come down, they fly in on a Wednesday to San Diego, and then basically take an Uber to the border. There's a big mall on the U.S. side, and there's a coffee bean. And so we meet everybody at the coffee bean, and then we all walk across, and there's a van basically waiting for us there. We all jump into the van, do like a city tour, go to the hotel, and then that evening we do a happy hour with one of our speakers, kind of like a Q&A format. Then we go out to dinner, and then Thursday it's an all-day event with speakers, and where we talk about, it's all focused around operations. And then the other cool thing is that you get to meet your team. You get to spend the whole day with your pod leader, and so you get to talk to them one-on-one, kind of like improve those bonds, that connection that you have with your pod leader, which is really fun. So that full day of training or of classes goes Thursday from 8 to 6, and then Thursday night we go out to dinner, have some drinks, have some fun. Last time we ended up going out to the casino here and playing craps till 2 o'clock in the morning, which was really, really fun. And then Friday morning, everybody gets up and they go home. We take them back to the border. They walk back across, and then Uber back to the airport, and they fly out. So it's 3 days, 2 nights, one full day of learning. The other day, 2 days, the Friday is travel day, and then Wednesday is more like a kind of a fun day too. So
any plans or need to have any kind of footprint in the U.S.?
In terms of staff?
Yeah, staff, office.
Yeah, so I still have 2 people in the States. My business partner lives in L.A. Our corporate office is technically in LA. But, I really don't see any need for expanding into the US. I love being down here in TJ. It's a great city. I love promoting the positive things about this city. And so, I don't really foresee us needing to open an office in the US.
Yep, cool. Very nice, man. Well, I am linking to everything, primarily your website, right? Cool. Anywhere, any kind of reports or anything else we should send someone to learn more about?
I mean, you can go learn pretty much everything from dudeagency.io. And then you can follow us on the Facebooks, facebook.com. I think it's /dude. Facebooks. And then the Instagrammers at dudeagency.io. We always have fun videos.
Is it true like people can pay extra and wrestle you in your own booth at the trade show?
Dude, you don't even have to pay for that. I will take your ass down for free.
Nice. Well, wait, me or my listeners? I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter, man.
Anybody who wants to challenge the dude beast.
I'm still waiting for you to come up and do some jiu-jitsu with me. You ought to come now, man. Well, I'm kind of injured,
Yeah, while your shoulder's injured.
You can, we won't even mention it, right? And
that'll be your excuse when I choke you out, rear naked choke.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'll give you the address. I'll be there tonight, man.
You know what, dude? Jiu-jitsu is one of the most humbling experiences because I consider myself, I've always been an athlete, and I've always been a pretty good athlete. But jiu-jitsu is just a whole nother level, and it's not even so much athleticism as it is, using your brain, right? And being able to work under pressure. And there's so many life lessons that you learn rolling on the mat with somebody else. I roll with this kid. He's a purple belt, 19 years old. He's been training for 9 years old, or for 9 years, since he was 10. And God, I mean, he's good. He's very, very good. And he's got to be like 50 pounds lighter than me. That means nothing. My size, my athleticism means nothing, at all. And it's a great experience to see that, to kind of, for all intents and purposes, being put in your place, being an infant again. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, it's terrible.
Well, so last week we did a drill, and it was basically five guys were on the mat. They were they started with the top levels, and then the next 5 people would go, and you would try. They were on the ground, and we were in full mount, right? And you had to try and get them to submit or switch to side mount or something like that. And I just didn't know. I had absolutely no idea what to do. It's like, if this was a street fight, I would punch you in the face.
Right.
But, and so I was just getting swept, and I was like, I don't know what to do. It was so unbelievably frustrating. Yeah. But that's good. Sometimes we need to be frustrated. That's how we learn. Get out of our comfort zone.
And I realized too, you see these, Oh, Saturday morning, women's self-defense class. They'll do it once a month. At wherever, the YMCA or something. And it's better than not knowing anything. If it can help someone be more aware, put your phone away, keep your keys in your hands, so you can stab somebody in the eye if they approach.
Right.
But dude, I trained for 2 years and had to fight 3 tournaments before I was finally calm and enjoying the process. I was so amped up, so nervous, and just doing a friendly tournament, and I think what would somebody really learn in a 90-minute, self-defense workshop? Probably just enough to get themselves killed. Because you got to train, man.
Oh, yeah.
Really if you want to be good at anything, web design, copywriting, you name it, baking a cake, you got to do it over and over and over again.
Sales, man. Like if you're not practicing and, fine tuning your pitch for your company, if you're not doing that every single day, I'm telling you, if you don't do it for 2 weeks, you will be weaker than you were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's not just it, and that's a really good jiu-jitsu lesson. I skipped a week because I was at traffic and conversion. I go back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a freaking newborn deer.
I was gone last week in Austin and rolled Saturday. Oh, I was actually surprised at my endurance. I did fine, but man, the rest of the day, Saturday and yesterday, I was wiped out, so sore.
Exactly. It's all about the habits, man. Create habits and just do little things every single day.
All right, man. Well, Chris Martinez, Dude Agency from Tijuana.
There we go.
I like that, man. I'm coachable, baby.
Now you're Mexican.
Well, thanks for coming on Sales Podcast, man. It's been great.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be on.
Hey, dude.
Good to see you, brother.
Go sell something.
Closing right now.